Am I on the right?
Oh, yeah, on the right. Hi! Merry Christmas! Well, that was weird. I don't know if we're live or not. It seems like to be loading. Huh. I guess we'll have to check because that doesn't look right. We'll see if people are in here. Oh, here. I think we're live now. Are we live? Brian Bigelow says hello. Let me get my Joel, tell them what's going on. Let me get my glasses so we can talk to these people while we're doing
it. Okay. Merry Christmas, everyone. We are going to do a video review on The Witcher, the new Netflix TV series. Bill is going to get his glasses.
They're on top of my head. Yay, Merry Christmas. So we're going to do a review on The Witcher Netflix series came out. This is like one of Joel's favorite things.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, no, I've been waiting for this for quite some time with both apprehension and a lot of expectation because for those, I'm sure everybody knows, but in case you don't know, The Witcher is based off of a series of books. It's what it is essentially is the Polish Lord of the Rings. That's the closest thing, I guess.
Polish Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, because the author's name is Andrzej Sapkowski.
Because they're tight.
Polish author who wrote the original Witcher things, and then of course the CD Projekt Red created the Witcher video games based on the books, and those are even more popular over here than the books are.
Quick question: can you guys hear us okay in the chat? I just want to make sure that you can hear us okay before we keep going, because if there's a sound problem, that would be bad. Okay, great. Well, welcome, you guys. A lot of stuff going on, Christmas. And so anyway, this is one of Joel's favorite things. He got an original piece done by
Dan Panosian.
Dan Panosian.
He did some of the original Witcher.
Beautiful piece. Yeah. And you guys, this is a comic. I never got into the comic part of it. I didn't know much about it. I knew it existed, from being in the world of whatever. But so they did a show on Netflix with Superman, and he is the Witcher.
Yeah.
And there are multiple Witchers.
There are.
Yeah. So they're just male witches, right?
Not really, because there are
warlocks.
There are male wizards and sorcerers and things like that in the Witcher world. But so what the Witcher is there's a place called Kaer Morhen, and that is where all of the Witchers are trained. And it's like a castle out in the middle of.
They didn't show any of that.
No, they haven't yet. And actually, they hinted toward it at the end of the season where they mentioned Vesemir. And Vesemir is like the Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's the trainer, the mentor to
like Yoda.
Or
no,
more like Obi-Wan.
Okay,
because he is a Witcher himself, but he's like the mentor to Geralt. And so I was kind of surprised that he wasn't in this first season.
Now Geralt is the main character. Superman.
Yeah, he is the Witcher. So what it is it's he's kind of a mutation, a hybrid, but the Witchers are created to hunt monsters.
Yeah.
So they have a little bit of magic abilities, but not a lot. They're not.
Yeah,
they're not sorcerers. Yeah,
it's almost like the Force. Like they use a lot of Force stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty minimal. They have a little bit of ability to use fire. They can use a push thing as they do in this TV show, and a little bit of mind control. But it's very minimal. Whereas Yennefer is the sorceress; she can do all kinds of stuff.
Now let's talk about Yennefer. So I love Yennefer. Initially, she was like a hunchback with a like a growth or just an odd.
Yeah, I don't know. They kind of twisted her mouth about a little bit, but
she was a young. They gather up all the witches like from different.
They gathered up people that have some
powers.
That exhibit some kind of power, and they force them into becoming witches or sorceresses.
And the gist is, from all the other trainees, she was the most powerful. And what's her name was pushing her. the head witch.
The what was her name? Tisea de Vries.
So and then they send the witches to different houses like kings.
Yeah, what
like
they so
Merlin
what it
would
is
watch
there's
King
like a
Arthur.
brotherhood of sorcerers, and they want to remain in power. So what they do is after they train all of these witches and wizards and stuff, they send them out to the different courts around the land.
Yeah, so they'll have one per court. And she didn't want to go to this one, so she did some witch magic. Someone did like a witch surgery, and basically
that's kind of just fabricated for the show, because in the original stories that's not how
well, it gives her purpose though.
Yeah,
because they take away her ability to have children and make her beautiful. And
yeah, in the source material she does that herself.
Oh, okay.
And all sorceresses are infertile. So
okay.
Yeah. And they don't physically rip out the ovaries or anything weird like that, like they do in the show.
Yeah, that was interesting. But there's a lot of nudity. It's like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I think that's what Netflix is trying to do, is create their own version of a Game of Thrones.
You can tell that it's good, it's enjoyable, but it's not the same production quality as HBO can offer.
Yeah.
It's just hi guys. So anyway, the Witcher's kind of like a hero for hire type of thing. That's basically what he does, right?
Yeah.
Same with her. Same with Yennefer. I mean, they pay her to do different things. They all just use their powers for money.
Yeah, well, that's what Witchers are, basically monster hunters for hire.
Yeah. And he follows a certain code too.
Yeah, it's not as evident, I don't think, in the show as it is in the books and the video
Well,
games.
I picked it up in the show. I never read the book, but let's talk about the show itself. So this is what I came to realize. There's 8 episodes?
Yeah.
Once we got to like 3 and 4 and 5, it was so mixed up. Until you had to keep watching to figure out what's going on.
It's because they're messing with the timeline. And I believe the reason they're doing that is to try and throw a little more action into it in different parts, because if they went chronologically, I guess it's maybe easier for them to make
sense though.
Yeah, it's possible. I would have preferred a chronological telling of the story.
The problem with them jumping around is that they don't do it right. Like there's different, like Quentin Tarantino could jump around and do it right, but they hop back and forth with past and present, and you get confused because 2 of the characters, the basically daughter of the Witcher and the mom, look so similar that when they're jumping back and forth, you're like, wait, is this the one grown up or what is this? I don't. And then you find out.
They don't make it very clear what's going on with the timeline.
Yeah.
And in fact, I was confused because in the original story, they don't do it that same way, because in the show, they make it seem as if, and I guess you can tell me if I misinterpreted this, but they make it to where Ciri doesn't know who Geralt is. She just knows she's supposed to find Geralt, but she's never met him before.
Yeah.
Is that what was going? Because that's not the way.
Well, their mom told her eventually. Well, her grandma, the queen,
the Queen Calanthe is the grandma,
told her to search him out, but she never. I don't think she ever knew anything about him at all.
Yeah, and that's really puzzling. I'm not sure why they changed that, because in the original story, Geralt immediately when he did claim the Child of Surprise, when Ciri was kind of a teenager, he took her back to Kaer Morhen and trained her to be a Witcher. So he trained.
Well, that'll probably happen soon. She seems still pretty young.
But I think they missed an opportunity to have the meeting of the 2 characters at the end of the series to be more impactful. But here they don't really know each other. But
but
in
they
the
instantly
original,
know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they know they're bound by destiny or something. But
well, I guess she doesn't really know. He knows. So basically,
she also doesn't know who Yennefer is. And
no one knows. Well, see, that's the thing.
The original
for me,
story,
I don't know anything.
Yeah,
you know the story.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why they changed it, because it's a little.
You like the story better?
Annoying. Yeah, because in the original story, they form a family unit. Yennefer is like the mother, Geralt is like the father, and Ciri's like their
Do they
child.
travel together?
Yes, yeah.
So that's
Geralt
super powerful.
Geralt trains her to be a Witcher. Yennefer trains her to be a sorceress. She spends time at Aretuza learning magic. So Ciri is basically going to become like the most powerful being in that.
Besides Yennefer, yeah. Yennefer's pretty powerful. And Anyway, okay, so I get that.
So
Makes sense. Well,
for
they're
me,
saving
that's
it.
the big thing for me is there's so many little things they changed for no reason.
Well, that's what happens when you adapt
Yeah, it
something
is.
for something
But
else.
the source material, there's a wealth of material there that they don't have to change things. I guess it's that Lauren Hissrich is the showrunner. I guess she decided to change certain little things here and there, and I mean it's not in super integral. Other than I think it's weird that they made Ciri not know who Geralt and Yennefer are.
Look at that dumb little thing there. It says, what is going on? It shouldn't say that XSplit there. Kate, I'm going to try to figure something out while you're still talking, Joel. So I guess we're just going to deal with it. I don't know why it has that there. I had to log in again for some reason, so it just started.
Well, can the audience see everything clearly, or are they seeing some weird?
Oh, I don't see it there anymore. It was like an XSplit thing, and it's gone now. Oh, maybe it's on the other screen. Yeah, there it is. Whatever, dude. I'll fix it later. Something happened. I had to read. Hi, Lisa is on episode 3, and she's wondering about the changes too. So, Lisa, we don't want to spoil anything for you.
But it is.
But she knows
there
about
are
it.
little differences here and there that if you're a big fan of the books or the video games, you might find annoying. One of the ones that right off the bat is they changed the bard, his companion, kind of the goofball sidekick.
Yeah, the musician.
Yeah, his name is Dandelion, but for some reason they changed his name to Jaskier, something weird like that. So I'm not sure why they changed that. I guess it might have something to do with the Polish translation, but so that's. But of course that's not a big deal. I think one of the things I noticed right away is that a lot of the monsters that are so familiar from the games are missing in this show.
Well, you got to understand though, dude, this is the first season.
Yeah, but there's 8 episodes. There's a lot of time they can be doing.
And that's a weird thing is that I thought was interesting. Not knowing anything about it is the way they jumped around. They could have done it so different. Like even if I don't know anything about it, it just was too all over the place. Like I would turn away for a second, come back and say, "Did I just miss a whole episode?" Like it made you feel like you missed something completely.
Yeah. Well, I didn't care for the non-chronological storytelling. It's so popular these days, but I prefer
but they did it wrong.
Yeah,
like that's the weird thing I got from it is they were going for it and it didn't work. Regardless, I enjoyed the show.
Did you get a Lord of the Rings vibe at all?
Oh, of course. I mean, all this stuff's always the same.
Yeah, it's actually even more so in the books because Geralt kind of gets together a band of people to go find Ciri. So he, in the story, he has an elf with him. He has a dwarf with him.
Maybe that's why they changed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible they'll end up going that direction, but
well, no, he found her. Why would
yeah, exactly. That's the weird thing is that it's supposed to take a long time to find her.
Yeah, and you don't even know if you don't watch The Witcher, you don't know it's a main character. You just think that Geralt and Yennefer are the main two.
Yeah, well, the way they're setting this up, things are going to be very different, I'm sure, because the Lauren Hissrich has already said she envisions the story lasting 7 seasons.
Yeah, she's trying to.
Yeah, I mean, it could last 7 seasons, but it should have probably taken 3 or 4 seasons just to find Ciri, but they found her already. So yeah, it's a little strange.
Well, there's a lot that if they keep bouncing back and forth, they could do.
I think one of the other things, and I don't know if you noticed, it didn't feel like there was a clear villain, and that.
There was the one dude that could jump through portals. Who the hell was that guy? He had like a ant with him or something.
Oh, that was just some random mage assassin.
What about the guy at the end that kind of like could change forms? Is that the same guy? No, someone else.
Oh,
yeah, you don't see any.
Yeah, there's no Darth Vader type.
Well, there was a group of witches, wasn't there, or a group of bad people at the end?
Yeah, well, Vilgefortz is supposed to be a bad sorcerer, but they didn't really do a lot with him.
Yeah, it's just all over the place. It really is. I mean, if you're trying to like figure out everything first season, you're not going to, unless you know about The Witcher.
Well, even if you know about it, they're clearly changing a lot of things. So it's going to be difficult to predict where they go with a lot of those characters.
Let's talk about the bad guys. Like the dragon was kind of okay. There's some dragons that were interesting looking. They're not super awesome. There was the girl that was like cursed. There was one episode where a girl was cursed.
Yeah,
was she a vampire?
No, she's a Striga. It's
kind of like a vampire.
kind of like a maybe a little bit.
Couldn't be in the light.
But see, in the world of Witcher, there are werewolves, there are vampires.
I didn't even see a werewolf yet.
Exactly. That's what is a little puzzling.
That's what I thought.
Where all of the main monsters that inhabit that world, you see almost none of them, because vampires and werewolves are a big part of it. They have giant spiders, they have giant centipedes, they have all kinds of monsters, different dragon type things, wyverns, just all kinds of stuff.
I could see all that coming eventually.
But... yeah, I hope so. I was expecting a lot more of it. Very little bit. There was a scene in a graveyard where things come out of the ground and start attacking
cool.
them. Yeah, that's. But it's hard to even know what that's trying to be, because in the game and in the stories there are al ghouls which which feed on the dead. There's necrophages. There's neckers. There's all kinds of drowners. All kinds of little different types of monsters and it's because Geralt's a monster hunter, so he has to know the difference between all of the different types of monsters. So I was a little in that regard, I was a little disappointed that they focus so little on the actual monsters.
He kind of looks like a werewolf, kind of.
Who, Geralt?
Yeah. You know what I found interesting is he's doing the Batman voice the whole time.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah. And it's probably because of the video game. In the video game,
does he do that voice?
A little bit. Yeah, it's a very low.
Yeah, but you could tell it's almost he could have been a good Batman probably if he wasn't Superman already.
Yeah.
But he's got the voice down. But yeah, for sure.
I thought he did an okay job.
Like in the voice.
Yeah. I think for me, I was envisioning a slightly older Geralt. I understand why everybody is younger than they should be, but it's so that they can, by the time if they make it to 7 seasons, everybody will be appropriately aged at that point.
Now Yennefer, I every time I see her in camera, I'm like, oh my god, like she's really pretty.
Yeah, it's an interesting casting choice.
Plus her eyes, when they do the purple eyes and stuff like that, I'm like, oh god, I would need to find some purple eyes.
Casting wise, I was okay with just about everybody. The only one that I feel and I guess they're going based off the book a little more, it was Triss Merigold. In the games, she is always so noticeably a redhead. And in this, they've changed. She's just
which one is that?
She's one of the sorceresses. She's the one that.
What's doing the door? Yeah, okay.
She did the vine door. Yeah.
Okay, that's that.
But yeah, visually, I think it
was okay.
They changed her the most, and I was a little disappointed in that.
Well, for the effects and stuff, I think they did okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
effects-wise,
there's only so big of a budget you can go, especially when you're spending most of it on comedians coming back and new movies by Michael Bay at Netflix, which probably cost so much. But that movie was actually pretty good, Six Underground or something like that. But overall, I liked it. I thought the season would be longer. It went pretty fast.
Yeah.
It was a little confusing, but you catch back up. Is there anything else you want to talk about The Witcher? I mean, this is your big deal here.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm so it's a property and the source material I like so much that it's kind of hard to separate, and it actually gets a little confusing because they change so many little things, and I'm trying to think of how did they do it in the books, how did they do it in the game, how are they doing it in this show?
I mean, you could be really critical on it because I said, he's a big fan. He's got sideshow statue, he's got original art, he's all in for this. So for me, it's like introducing something to me, and I enjoyed it. It was okay, it was, I guess.
I think one of the big things for you as someone coming into it and not knowing the source material is, does it feel like it has its own identity, or does it feel like just another Game of Thrones?
Well, that's what everything does. Everything always. Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's difficult these days to find your own identity.
I
in this genre,
it, but it's almost like a Van Helsing mix. It's more of like like Van Helsing and Monster Hunter mix into the Lord of the Rings, Excalibur type of stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of political stuff going on in the background of all of these. Nilfgaard is trying to conquer the world, basically, in the background. So I like it because it's different and it deals a lot with magic, and horror. Like you said, werewolves and dragons, and I love that type of stuff. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of sexy stuff in there. I enjoyed that too. A lot of nudity, and visually stimulating. Like I said, and animated wise,
they could do be better, I guess.
Yeah, well, I think perhaps in that
digital
sequence with the Striga Ada, that you can see how they do some practical effects and some CG, and the way they mix them. It's not the highest quality computer graphics, but it's still decent enough.
I just wish they would choose. I wish a show would choose one or the other. I wish a show would say, let's go 100% actual costumes, like no CGI. Like, just go back to the roots, like in the 80s and the early 90s, where it was like, wow, it looks so real. Everything's so real. And they're not going to anymore, though. It's just a wish I have. But overall, I enjoyed it. I'm excited to find out what comes next. I hope they fix the whole jumping around plot, back and forth timelines. Very confusing. I don't think we spoiled too much. There's a lot in there that we didn't talk about. What do you think overall for a big fan?
Yeah, there's so much I liked and there's so much I didn't like. And it's just so difficult because as somebody who really enjoys the original novels and the video game, every little thing they change kind of bugs me. So, I mean, even the things that don't matter. So, for example, Princess Pavetta marries the cursed knight. And in the books, he's cursed with the head of a bear. And in this, they change it to a hedgehog. I'm just like,
that's stupid.
Yeah, I'm just like, what are you doing? I mean, what's possible reason
I don't know
would you change from a bear, which is awesome, to a hedgehog, which makes no sense?
Well, maybe they wanted to do it because the costume-wise, they actually made that real. That wasn't CG. That was
I mean, he looked like a hedgehog man, but why? What's it's just little bitty things like that they change that I don't. It just bugs me.
That's dumb that they would do that.
Yeah. But it's still fun to see, like when they introduced Borch 3 Jackdaws, the old man with his Zaracanian girls that followed him around. So as soon as they introduced, I knew exactly where that storyline was going, and they changed a few things here and there, but overall it was pretty faithful to the original story. And with Sapkowski's novels, what he did is his first book that was released was called The Last Wish. And that is a collection of short stories that introduce you to The Witcher. And that's where probably one of the most famous stories out of there is the encounter with the Djinn and making those 3 wishes and getting.
I wanted to see Yennefer. The Djinn.
Yeah, they never really show it. It's just a.
I was excited
dark
for that.
Genie. Yeah, but also in that. For inexplicably, they decided to change it to have Yennefer trying to trap the Djinn in her own body. That doesn't make any sense. Well, that's not what she was doing in the original book. It makes
sense because they want to show her naked.
Yeah, I guess it's an excuse to do that.
That's why.
Yeah. But anyways,
overall, for someone that doesn't
I
know
still
anything,
enjoyed it, and a lot of critics and fans, I think, are kind of saying it's worse than it really is. I think if you're super into the original source material, you will find a lot of little things to nitpick, but overall, it's still entertaining.
Maybe I'm sure the budget's really high.
They also already greenlit season 2, so
they have to.
We'll get to see more. Of where
boobies and Superman. It's gonna be greenlit, witchery, and Netflix is really trying to step it up. Hopefully, they'll improve a little bit here and there with this. But for someone that was kind of new to the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, it was a little frustrating at times, but I enjoyed it. I watched the whole thing. I blew through it, trying to beat him, and I did beat him, which is amazing. But overall, from a guy that likes the original stuff and said it's okay, and for someone blind to it, I enjoyed it. I would suggest checking out. It's something to watch.
I think it's one of those shows you probably need to watch at least the first couple of episodes to get a feel for it. If you watch just the first episode, you're probably not going to get into it.
The first couple episodes are pretty good, actually, I thought. Yeah. That's part of the best part, I thought. And then I got all bundled up trying to do multiple storylines together, which was very confusing. But the first 3, the introduction of him and her, where I liked it. But anyway, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this review of the first season. We'll do another one. Maybe we'll do some more seasons stuff.
We gotta wait till 2021 for
we gotta wait till Mandalorian's over with.
Yeah.
You still haven't even seen. Oh man, you're missing it, dude. Mandalorian's fire, dude. But this has more boobies. So, Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas,
Merry
Joel.
Christmas, Bill.
We've been doing this for it's been a long time.
More than a year. Not quite 2 years, right?
we'll kind of get back. We've kind of been slacking here the last couple of weeks. We'll get back to it next year with some new movies and some new stuff. And love you guys very much. If you're still here, stay tuned for the AOS V69 unboxing, which comes up in about 45 minutes. It's absolutely incredible video. I hope you guys stay tuned later. Jump in and watch that. It's one of the most craziest unboxings ever. Thank you so much. GoneWithTheTwins.com. Check them out. Joel, we'll see you guys later. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And that's it. See ya.